Hi everybody, I'm finally back after just a little bit of a hiatus. A lot happened, mainly family stuff, work stuff, and then just the temperature decided to bottom out in Georgia. So it's been substantially colder than it normally would have been in October and November so far. I'm genuinely afraid of January. But today I'm doing something that I have been wanting to do for quite some time, and that is make an official gift guide for Bath& Body Works as an employee. Um, because I've seen a lot of people unsure about what to get for gifts. Maybe they don't fully know the person, they aren't sure, or it's one of those. Some people, I've seen people like with my family when there's 9 grandkids. That's a lot of people, and it's a bit overwhelming. And Bath and Body Works is in general kind of overwhelming for some people. That is why I am here. So today I have a few categories on people that I see people tend to be buying for, the ones that they kind of tend to be unsure about, and then some recommendations, as well as some tips and tricks on how to shop this kind of store for the holiday season. Number one, kind of the biggest category I see people tending to be shopping for is for the moms and dads, whether it be dads are actually remembering to fill their wife's stockings, or people that are taking care of a lot of people all at once. For categories that are kind of applicable, I do have recommendations for body care as well as home care fragrances. And some of these will be specifically fragrances, some of them will be specific types, and you'll kind of understand. So for body care for mom and dad, I will say always go with eucalyptus spearmint, lavender vanilla, something in our spa range, our wellness ranges. They're always going to be a crowd pleaser. People will always appreciate it. My mom always loves eucalyptus spearmint, and my partner's grandmother absolutely loves lavender. That is like the number one thing I always remember about her, is that she loves anything lavender, and that is something that I will always say when in doubt when it comes to gifting stuff like Bath and Body Works, is they will use it. It will be appreciated because it's something they don't have to buy for themselves. When it comes to the dads, I have seen a lot of dads wanting to get something new, wanting to try something different, stocking stuffers, and the likes. Like my family, like I said, 9 grandkids. There's a lot of boys, so what my family did is they bought a lot of body creams for stocking stuffers and gifts and whatnot. And the ones I always recommend are mahogany teakwood if they are kind of on the older side. More mature people tend to like ones like whiskey toast as well. If they ever enjoyed something like coffee and whiskey or whiskey reserve, or if they prefer something a little more on the cleaner side, something a little different, I would actually go with Distiller's gin. At my store, Ocean is kind of always seen as, well, yes, it is popular. It is very much more of a beginner's fragrance. Like, it's what you do when your teenage boy or like your preteen is experimenting in body spray and you don't want them to stank up the house with Axe. Ocean will be the way to go. Distiller's Gin and To the Moon are what I always jump for. They are some of my favorite ones. I panned an entire To the Moon body wash, and I have a Distiller's Gin body spray somewhere in my room. As for home care, I will always say you can't go wrong with something as simple as a candle, wallflowers if they use them. Our laundry care is something I will always say for like maybe new parents, or maybe someone's moving out for the first time. That's something that I will always say. When it comes to certain fragrances, people pleasers have always been ones like flannel, holiday, snowflakes and cashmere, and I'm gonna throw Moonlit Goddess in there because that is one that I saw at our store when it came back. People were so happy to see it because it's one that, like snowflakes and cashmere, it's asked about way more than I thought it would be, and it's kind of the go-to holiday floral fragrance at my store. So I just picked up the body spray of it and I have a pocket back and I kind of want to get more of it. Like, it's really nice, and I could see somebody that maybe they like our spa range but they want something a little different. I could see Moonlit Goddess being kind of a really good gifting fragrance along with these other ones. So the second category I want to talk about are the kiddos, specifically the ones 10 and under. I did split off the older kids because I feel like there are two very different mindsets when it comes to how old the child is. And to also be honest, this kind of 10 and under category, it is kind of leaning more towards feminine children 10 and under, because that is just personally what I see the most of. I've never really seen younger boy children really gravitate towards our stuff. It kind of always seems like they're more just dragged into the store. Sometimes they'll be intrigued by the men's section, sometimes not. It kind of depends on if the dad is there and kind of looking for stuff, then I'll see them try to like mimic things and kind of desire it. With the girls, I will always see the girls kind of gravitate right towards the store because we do have a more prominent female audience when it comes as a retail store. The number one, I would always say for like little girls, maybe they want to try their first body spray, but you don't want to get them a big one. You don't think they'll really use it. I would actually heavily recommend our Scent Labs minis. Certain ones that kind of came out to me as like little kids would probably like these are the peach one, the blackberry one, and the vanilla one. But honestly, I could see a kid in some way, form, or fashion liking any of them. It's just I feel like little girls would really like the strength of the peach. The blackberry is one of my favorite ones. Somehow I don't have it. I keep forgetting to get it every time I'm at work. More grown up, they'll feel something special because it's something that they can have, like it's their spray. So it kind of depends on the kiddo, but I feel like the Scent Labs are going to be a good starter point to see if that's something they really would enjoy. Keeping going into the minis, we do have some mini fragrances that are only in the minis. And there's Snowy Peach Berry, which is one of my all-time favorite ones. Potent, but it's not too much at the same time. It's different because we don't really see a lot of peach body care now. I miss Pretty as a Peach so much. I think we had Georgia Peach at one point. The packaging is stinking adorable. Kids have gone nuts for it. We have lip care of it. We have all sorts of stuff that just are pretty much primed for kids. There's also a couple other ones in this collection that are warm butter cookie if the kiddo likes maybe something a little sweeter, something a little bit on the kind of gourmand side, because a lot of kids, let's be honest, a lot of kids will see something cookie flavored and they will go nuts for it. And there's also a lollipop one. I haven't taken a look at the lollipop one yet. It's in the purple packaging, but I have seen kids like it. But above and beyond, the peach has been the crowd favorite for a lot of little girls. Something else I will always recommend when it comes to kiddos, if you're kind of not sure what the kid likes, maybe you don't really know what they need, I will always recommend something that is also a great use of a Bath & Body Works reward, and that is the mini tent gift sets. You get great value for them when it comes to using them as a reward, but also in general, they are really good value. When our minis are $8.95, $9.95 a piece, and you're getting 2 of them, sometimes even 3, or 2 plus a pocket bag, and also you get the cute packaging, you don't gotta wrap it or anything, and then it's always gonna be a good bang for your buck. And we have a wide variety of fragrances, so there's probably gonna be something there for every kind of kid, with the added bonus that if you're buying for the adults, you'll have those rewards, and the kids can be taken care of for absolutely free. And the fourth thing I threw on here for kiddos, maybe people aren't really sure still what the kid likes, or maybe they have enough stuff. Maybe there's some families that I see like the kids get to use their parents' stuff, or the parents will purposely buy like a second thing for them to use. Is I will honestly say something like a pocket bag holder or even a wallflower plug are a good option for kiddos when they're really young, because pocket bag holders, it's the number one thing I see kids honestly ask for, or maybe they'll want for school. And wallflower plugs I often see getting used in bathrooms or nightlights. So the next category here is, like I said, it's the older kids, and I say kids like 11 to 17 because preteens and teenagers are sometimes, honestly, they're the hardest things to shop for at times. And so once again, I have it split up with body care and room care, and I'm going to start with like the home stuff because this is something that I genuinely don't think some parents have thought about, or something in terms of maybe what a parent would very much appreciate for their child. Now, this is going to sound a little dumb, but genuinely, consider a concentrated room spray. Because, as I said, 9 grandkids, there's some stanky teenage boys. Every teenage boy kind of stinks. And I will genuinely say that these are always going to be a great stocking stuffer in general, because these are great for a bedroom. I've seen people use them in their cars, like kind of just one spray and you're good, versus using a car air freshener is something that, again, they'll always use it. It's something that, frankly, they will need because gym class gets gross. School's kind of gross. You don't know what they're coming home with. So I'm going to start with the men's, or something I haven't really addressed yet in this video is a lot of times we will see trans customers or non-binary customers or people just really gender non-conforming that they don't really know what is for them. And that is why this kind of one is kind of a catch-all for a lot of people. As I said earlier, with some other things. Ocean is a #1 seller for a reason. It is clean, it is nice, it is fresh, it is something that is completely not offensive, and I always come with a mindset of it should not matter which section that a fragrance comes from. You like what you like. I am somebody that, yes, I am very femme presenting. I do identify as female. I use the men's section, like, a lot. Some of my favorite fragrances are from the men's section. I don't like champagne toast all that much, but I will go to town on Distiller's Gin. And that's why ones like Ocean, Distiller's Gin, and To the Moon are honestly a really nice catch-all if you don't really know what the guy likes, or maybe if there's someone that is gender non-conforming, non-binary, because they're more fresh, they're clean, they will always be nice. So the next thing I've seen, mainly I would say this one gravitates towards the preteens. It's the holiday traditions. You know, the classics. Winter Candy Apple, Vanilla Bean Noel, Bright Christmas Morning, Twisted Peppermint. I have seen at least probably about 2 or 3 kind of teenagers, kids in general, when they come into the store here recently since it came out, where the mom says like, hey, pick out what you want, or pick out what like your sister would want or something, and they go for the holiday traditions. It's good for a reason, and I am always going to be nostalgic over this collection, because I think I said it in videos last year. Winter Candy Apple celebrated its 25th anniversary, and it has been tried and true as long as I've been using Bath & Body Works. It truly has. I have distinct memories always of when my mom would get the coupons. There was this one coupon where it would be to get body care of Winter Candy Apple or Vanilla Bean Noel. Vanilla Bean Noel being my sister's favorite. And it would always be like, who's been good, who doesn't piss off mom that day, to be honest. And then you would get to, one of us would get to use the coupon depending on who was the better child that day or that weekend or whatever. Well, yes, I'm very nostalgic over this collection. I see why people really like it. There's really something there for everybody. And another collection that kind of fits that kind of vibe of like there's something there for everybody. And it's honestly one of my favorite collections in our entire range. It's the Everyday Luxuries. I have really, really come across the Everyday Luxuries as a really good range, and I kind of wish that more of it would have stayed permanent, but we'll get into my tips and whatnot, and we'll kind of figure out how to navigate that a little bit later on. But the Everyday Luxuries, because there are attempts at duping high-end perfumes, if there's somebody that maybe they want something a little more grown up or something maybe a little more elevated, if they think certain fragrances are kind of childish or goofy, the packaging is, for one, really sleek, really elevated. I really like it all. It's all kind of beveled. Like, this is one of my older ones, but like this looks actually really nice. They'll actually want to have it on their desk or whatnot. It looks more mature. And there's something there, like if they like fruity, if they like gourmand, if they like sweet, if they like clean, there tends to be something there for everyone. And it's a really good range to at least consider. So this next category, this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but I have seen people coming in for this kind of gift, and I'm going to call it the obligation gift. You don't know them very well, maybe it's like an office party, Secret Santa, that sort of thing, and you just need something. I have a lot here, and I'm gonna start with the body care. If who you are shopping for is, like I said, femme presenting, maybe they enjoy our kind of more feminine presenting fragrances and all that, you can't go wrong with one of the classics, things like Japanese Cherry Blossom, Thousand Wishes, Platinum. I would honestly throw in there. Platinum is a very kind of mature, to be honest. I see a lot of older women really enjoying it. So it kind of has that classic perfumeness of it. Also ones like Champagne Toast, etc. At the Beach. Really any of the ones that have tried and true, it's been here for 20 something years. I would also say another one in that kind of category is ones like Gingham or Gingham Gorgeous. If you know they like fruit to some degree, I would say go Gingham Gorgeous, because that strawberry, the peach, the peony, versus Gingham is more clean, more kind of subdued. Like, it's there for a reason. It's our branding. If you know they like Bath and Body Works, you can't go wrong with gingham. If they're more on the masculine side, I would honestly do what my family did with my cousins. Ones like bourbon, ocean, mahogany, teak wood, and just kind of go off the vibe of maybe how old they are. If they're on the younger side, ocean. If they're older, bourbon or mahogany, teak wood. Another one I would honestly throw in there is whiskey reserve, whiskey toast, whiskey really anything. And also one that I see people also tend to go for, a range, is True Blue Spa and anything in our aromatherapy, like earlier with the mom and dads. Eucalyptus spearmint, lavender, vanilla. We have a magnesium kind of sleep range that's really nice. If they're into something a little bit more apothecary, it's black tea. This one is really interesting, and I do really like this one. We also have a rose one that's different from the rose vanilla. I haven't fully tried it on me yet. I'm a rose fan. I'm a rose girly. I think that if they're more kind of subdued, or honestly, if this packaging is their vibe, honestly, this is one to check out. But True Blue Spa, it's one of those. We have hand sets, we have feet sets, we have like foot soaks, we have a bit of everything depending on how they feel, what they kind of need. There's something there that could genuinely work for anybody, any occasion, if you don't know them very well. Now, in terms of home care obligation gifts, can't go wrong with a candle, so long as they can use it. I know there's people like college dorms, some apartments don't allow flames, but honestly, candle warmer, not a bad idea. I've been thinking about getting a candle warming lamp for myself so I can have candles more kind of safely in my room. So I've been thinking about doing that, and that's honestly a great option for people that maybe don't want to deal with flames and smoke and whatnot. And the candles that I pointed out here for this are kind of in little separate categories. One that I always see people go for, it's kind of the end all be all, and one that I see people buy a lot for both gifts and themselves, and that is something balsam, tree, pine, etc. Because this is going to sound kind of dumb, but if you have a plastic Christmas tree and you light a fresh balsam candle, you don't really have a fake tree. A balsam candle tree farm, and there's this new one that came out that I'm really intrigued about. I kind of want to get it for myself. It's sugared pine needle. I've smelled it with a cold throat and it's really nice. I just really want to smell it warm. And speaking of pine, kind of the other category I have here is lavender and pine, winter and sweater weather. It's good they kind of prefer things a little cleaner, maybe something a little different. Maybe the pine smell isn't exactly for them. Lavender and pine is kind of my true like end all be all candle fragrance this year. The packaging's really pretty. We have a lot of different collections, different packaging and whatnot, and lavender and pine is so pretty. In addition to it's fresh, it's not too piney, but it's also not too far on the lavender. Winter is one that has been very, very, very popular. Along with like sweater weather, snowflakes and cashmere, that sort of thing. People that are just wanting cozy, they're wanting warm, etc., etc. I also do have a couple of floral options here because some people do like florals. They want something maybe it's a little bit different. I will always say things like Moonlight Goddess, Cactus Blossom is one of my mom's favorite ones when it comes to like home care, as well as the other category I would say is not a bad idea for obligation gifts if you're not sure about them, and that is our laundry care. Our laundry care is dermatologist tested, septic safe. It's something that I will always wholeheartedly recommend, not just as an employee, but as someone that has a lot of allergies. Under this concealer, my face gets really red easily. I have a lot of skin irritant issues that I get from my mom. My mom can't use cocoa butter because she's highly allergic, equals her not being able to use the body cream and other things at my work and across the spectrum of body care and even food. Now, what me and my mom are both also sensitive and allergic to is a lot of laundry stuff. I can't use things like Tide Pods, Gain, Snuggle, anything. There's really a lot of brands that aren't safe for us, but somehow Bath & Body Works is safe. I've had no issues, zero problems with it, no reactions, no rashes, no redness, no nothing from using it. I can always appreciate when my clothes do smell really good. And so as we now have detergent, our scent boosters, which I always try to bring this up, they can dissolve in cold water. Unlike a lot of those other brands, because I know a lot of people don't like washing their clothes or washing bedding or really washing anything in hot water to make those beads dissolve. I can attest They have done great with cold water, as well as our dryer sheets are something that I will highly and wholeheartedly recommend because they are great in terms of getting the fragrance deep impacted into your clothes. And somebody that may be a new baby at home, just closed on a house, college grads, wedding presents, as a whole, I see people shopping for every occasion, not just Christmas right now. A set of, honestly, the detergent, the scent booster, and the matching dryer sheets of one of our fragrances where we have all three would be a great little bundle. Having something nice and great for something you know they will use because everybody does laundry. So before we get into tips and tricks of like shopping my store and whatnot, I do want to throw in a little bit of a bonus category that I kind of feel obligated to mention. And that is what I maybe would not recommend buying for the holidays. Because I know that this video kind of sounds a little sales pitchy and I get it. But I do honestly feel that not everything at my store is for everybody. A lot of people do have some issues with what we sell and whatnot, and that's valid to each their own. This is just personally things that I would not 100% gift, but I do have explanations. And maybe it's like, maybe don't get this unless. And starting with the number one thing, it is so divisive as a collection that I don't think I'd recommend it for somebody that maybe you're not sure about the person. And that is the Milk Bar collection. Now, if they're a fan of Milk Bar, if by off chance, if one of the Milk Bar treats is like one of their favorite ones is our fragrance, then by all means, that makes total sense. Or if they really like sweets, if they're big into that kind of gourmand, sweet cakiness, then maybe it's an option. But personally, it's too divisive of a collection, at least at my store, where I've seen it not go over as well as I thought it would, because it seems to be either people absolutely love it or they absolutely hate it. And with that, honestly, if they're picking out their own gifts, or like if they've smelled it and they want to give it a try, then maybe, but personally, I wouldn't get it for somebody that doesn't know the collection very well. The second thing I would honestly say, I don't want to say avoid this at all costs, but personally, I would not do it. And that is any online exclusives of anything. I wouldn't blind buy for other people. I know some people unfortunately do it. I've seen people just straight up go, okay, their favorite color is pink. Pink. That is an option. I've seen people always do it. I've seen it happen with candles a lot for baby showers. They'll grab something pink if it's a girl, something blue if it's a boy. And like, that's fine to a certain degree, but I wouldn't do it with something that you can't smell first. Unless it's something they directly ask you for, or if it's an online exclusive that you know what it is, you know what it smells like. Like, right now we have Dark Kiss as an online exclusive, as a 3-wick candle. Unless you know what Dark Kiss smells like, maybe don't buy them the Dark Kiss candle. It's just because the idea of blind buying, I wouldn't recommend it, especially because Bath & Body Works does have a very high shipping threshold, like $100, I think. I wouldn't be risking that chunk of change for something they may not like. All that to say, this is a lot of information, and I'm happy to say that I am here to also provide some bonus tips and tricks about when it comes to shopping at Bath & Body Works and how to maybe navigate these sort of sales, because like I said, it's overwhelming, it's confusing, and there's a lot to take in when it comes to the stores in general. And the number one thing that I will say, if you can go to an outlet, go to an outlet. The main difference of outlets is they have those sales tables. The $3 tables, the $5 tables, the 75% off, the 50% off. Kind of the clearance stuff. It will only be at the outlets. That is just how it is. I have never really seen a sales table minus semi-annual sale, candle day, that kind of thing at regular stores. They don't have those deals. They don't have those tables. They don't have places where it's like, oh, just because we changed the packaging, this packaging's cheap as shit. I will always say it. Save money. Go to an outlet if you were able to. I know there's not many of the outlets out there, but if you are able to go to one, go to one. And the second thing I will always say is, personally, as somebody, like I said, I come from a big family. I come from point where people have to sometimes buy for a whole mess of people. I wouldn't recommend doing all of the shopping in one trip unless all of your buying is one single category. And even then, I would still shop the sales. What I would honestly recommend you doing is write down everyone you're buying for and figure out what you're going to get them in what form. So if you look online, look on the app, check your emails and whatnot, and you see, okay, wallflowers are on sale today. Who was I gonna get wallflowers for? Or, okay, there's a big soap deal coming up. Who's getting soaps? And kind of go at that one by one. And yes, it does mean more trips. Yes, it does mean it might be a little more inconvenient, but you will save a lot of money in the end by going sale by sale versus all in one go. And the ultimate tip before we end this video is, remember, we're all just retail employees. Please be nice to the Bath & Body Works associates. We're trying our best. We cannot move heaven and earth for everything. I am not Reed Richards here. Sorry, I really just watched Fantastic Four yesterday and it was really good. Feel free to ask. I have a dupe brain, so I will always try to find discontinued fragrance dupes for people. If you're not sure, always never feel afraid to ask. Call a store and the likes. Please be nice to us. It's really all I ask. Subscribe to see more things such as this. If you by chance aren't sure about something, maybe I didn't mention it here, I might do a part 2 if there's enough traction and whatnot for categories that maybe I missed. Or if you want recommendations strictly for someone in your life, you can feel free to leave them in the comments below and I can get back to you. Without further ado, I'm back, bitches. I'll see you soon.